The BioSteel game is the top 24 high school players in Canada. They are chosen by a committee to compete in this all-star game in Toronto. So there's a girls' game and a boys' game. And most players are born in Canada. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 3 of CB Canada. My name is Gabe Gonzalez, and today we're going to talk about high school basketball. So, this weekend was supposed to be the BioSteel All Canadian game, but due to this pandemic, everything is canceled, and I'm not sure if the game is postponed, but it won't be happening this weekend. So, I thought it'd be a good time to start talking about high school basketball. Um, the BioSteel game is the top 24 high school players in Canada. They are chosen by a committee to compete in this all star game in Toronto. So there's a girls' game and a boys' game. And most players are born in Canada, but some are from outside the country and play at Canadian prep schools or high schools. So today I'm going to start talking about the players that are from British Columbia. So most players come from Ontario because there's just more people and the programs there are better and basketball is more developed. But we're starting to get some really good players out of BC. And I'm just going to go through all of the provinces separately in different episodes. But today we're going to start with BC. So in 2019, for the girls, there were 4 that were chosen out of the 24. Starting with Jessica Clark from St. Thomas Aquinas, Faith Dute from Semiahmoo, who now plays at the University of Florida, the Gators. And next is Olivia Morgan Cherchis. She played at South Kamloops Secondary, and she now plays at UBC. And Deanna Teixeira, who played for GW Graham and now plays for UFE Cascades. So that's your 2019 girls. 4 of them made it out of 24. This year, only 3 were chosen, and Jessica Clark was coming back for her senior year. And then there's 2 players from Semiahmoo, Deja Lee and Tara Wallach, who was the provincial champion. They were both provincial champions. Semiahmoo won for Quad A, but Tara Wallach was the MVP of provincials. So these are some great players coming out of BC. But as you can tell, not many of them come from BC versus Ontario. So that's for the girls. For the boys, even less. So last year, 2019, there was 3 players chosen. Sammy Hunter, who played for BC Christian Academy, and he went on to play at Ole Miss. And Victor Radakash, he plays for Thornlea Prep. And he was in BC, but he's now playing at a prep school in Ontario. He played in 2019. And Miguel Tomley, who also played in BC, but went on to play in an Ontario prep school as well. And he committed to Santa Clara, so he's playing for that team this year. So there's only 3 of the 24 for the boys that came from BC. And this year, 2020, there was only 1 player chosen. Dominic Perolin, he's a big man from Centennial, and I think they finished 5th or 6th this year at Quad A Provincials, which was a little upset, I believe, because they were one of the best teams in the province, but he was the only one chosen out of the 24. So overall, in the last 2 years, 19 and 20, 10 of the 48 best high school Canadians came from BC. So it's not as many. I mean, obviously it has to do with population-wise. There's a lot more people in Ontario. So 10 out of the 48 isn't as bad, but there's a lot of good players coming out of BC now. And I expect that list to go up in future years because of the programs that are out there and that are developing players. So a common theme is that if you play in this BioSteel game, you're going to want to play high-level university and even in the pro leagues. So, for example, Jamal Murray played in the game, SGA, his cousin Nikhil Alexander Walker, Ignis Brazieskis, Lucan Stewart. They're all in the NBA right now. Thonmaker and Mature Maker, they both played in this game, but aren't from Canada. So if you played in Canada, you can be chosen to play in the BioSteel. So that's a common theme, and it's probably guaranteed that all 24 that are chosen will go on to university of sorts. So it's interesting to talk about high school basketball. There's going to be a lot more of it coming up in further episodes. But up next, I'm going to talk about the rest of the players, so from different provinces, Alberta, and of course the Ontario players. And I think there's few from the East Coast. So that's it for this episode. I hope it was informative. I'm going to come up with a highlight package for both the boys and the girls game and post that on YouTube. And I'm also going to keep posting every day as much as possible about Canadian basketball. So if you have any comments or anything you want to share about these videos, please include it on the YouTube, or you can message me at CVB Canada on Instagram. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.